Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how to turn a portrait into the style of the artist Julian Opie. So first you're going to need a portrait of either yourself or maybe a celebrity. Make sure it's nice and big on A4 slide in PowerPoint, and then we're going to start. We're going to start to build up the layers first. So we'll start with the face, the facial features, and then the hair, and then we'll look at the rest. So what you're going to start to do, you are going to go to shapes, and you are going to want to go to lines, and you want this squiggly one which is called freeform. So click on freeform, and then let's start from the side of the face. So it's starting near his sideburns. Click once and it will start to create a line. So you want to give an outline of his head. So click, make a line, click, make a line. So to get a curve, you're going to want smaller clicks and shorter distances to try and get that curve. It may be a little bit tricky to see what's going on, but if you look faintly or look a bit closer, you'll be able to see that there is a little grey line going around the outside of this portrait. So I'm going to cut underneath the hair. Just want to get the outside of the head. I join back. As you can see, I managed to cover Devotent's face. What I'm going to do then, I'm just going to move it aside, and then I'm going to try and fill it with the same skin tone that he has. So go to Shape Fill at the top. You want to go down to the eyedropper, and you want the lightest part of his skin, and that should create that. Then what we're going to do next, we're going to go back to Insert, we're going to go back to Shapes, and we're going to do Lines, and then back to Freeform, and this time we're going to do his hair. So I may start from the sideburns. Again, click once, it creates a line, click again, start forming a second line. And I'm being a little bit creative on this. You don't need to go around every single little hair. I'm just going to try and get a few of these to indicate his spiky, floppy fringe. And then this time, instead of going back around the rest of his face, I'm going to carry on with the outside of his hair. So I'm going to try and get a few of these spikes. Like I said, I'm not going to get all of them. Just want to give the indication that his hair is quite spiky. So be very careful when using this tool not to keep clicking too much. If you keep clicking too much, it will close the shape off, and you won't get the effect that you want or the outline that you want. So there we go. I'm happy with that. So move that aside. As you can see, it fits where his head is. And again, Shape Fill, eyedropper, and this time I'm going to go for the darkest parts of his hair. I'm going to colour that in. We're going to look at doing highlights later. Okay, so now we're going to start to look for his face. So his eyes, his nose, and his mouth. So you can just click and drag these just over there for now out the way, and then zoom in to get a better view of his face. So what you're going to do, you're going to go back to Insert and then Shapes, and you just want the pupils of his eyes. So I'm going to go for the oval shape. I'm just going to make pupil. It can be a little bit bigger than the normal pupil. Then Shape Fill, black. I'm going to right click, copy, and then right click, paste. I'm going to repeat that, and I've got 2. One thing you need to make sure is at the moment the circle is oval is blue. So if you click on both while holding the control down at the same time and clicking on it, the 2 are selected. Go to shape outline, make sure it's on black, and you'll have a nice black outline for the pupils. Okay, then what we're going to do next, we're going to insert another circle for the highlight. So you may need to get a little bit more closer. Go to shapes again, circles, and then you want a little white, another one for the white shine. Shape fill, white, shape outline, white. Right click on it, copy, right click, paste, one with the little A on, and then place that there. So now you've got his 2 eyes done. While you're zoomed in, just scroll down, and then we'll do his nostrils. Again, insert shapes, we'll do an oval, just want the shape of his nostril, and if it's not imperfect, you can use the little arrow at the top and just kind of curve it in, squash it in a bit, and you might be able to stretch it. Again, you want that black, so shape fill, black, shape outline, black. What you can do, you can copy and paste that again, so right click, copy, and then paste, and then try and bring it over there for his nose. Again, turn it around, but this time you're not going to see as much of his nostril, so you're going to just make it a little bit smaller, and then just click off that. Then we're going to go down for his mouth, and then we're not going to worry about the rest of his lips. We want to focus on the line that his lip creates, and then maybe the little line underneath there. So what we're going to do, we're going to go to insert, we go to shapes, and then you can use the freeform again. Start from the little corner bit, click, make a line, click, make a line, click. It makes a little dip here. And then when you're finished, just double click and it stops the clicking and you've got your line. It's blue at the moment, so you want to go to shape fill, make sure it's black or not. Control Z to undo. You want shape outline, sorry. Make sure that is black, and then we want to make it a bit thicker. So you go to shape outline, go to weight, and you want to make it around 4.5. And then we're going to do the same again for the little bit of his line underneath his lip. So click, and then shape outline, click on it, go to weight, and 4.5. At this point, you can kind of zoom out, and it may look a bit weird at the moment. So what we need to start to do then is focus on his ear, his neck, and maybe some of his shirt. So if you need to zoom in again to get a better view of his ear, go to insert, shape, then go to line, and then you want to go to freeform, and then start, so clicking, make a line, and whenever it curves, just keep clicking and moving that mouse to get that curved effect. Otherwise, he'll have very sharp angled ears. It may even look like an elf if you give him too much of a pointy ear. So try and get that curve. So it may take a few practices, and if you do make a mistake, just press Control Z to undo. And there we go, got his ear. Now, I want his ear to be the same colour as the skin that we did earlier on. So we're going to go to Shape Fill, and it should be saved in recent colours, what we looked at. And then this time, we want the outline to be black, because Julian Opie's portraits are black. and then we're going to make the weight 4.5 as well. And what we're going to do, just move the ear over, and I might try and do some of the lines in his ear just to make it indicate that there is an ear there. So again, just some of the patterns, shape outline, and the weight 4.5. Insert, shape, freeform, and that's all I can see from his ear. Weight 4.5. I might do a shape fill. Okay, so I'm going to zoom out, and now we're going to work on his neck. So again, insert, shapes, freeform, and then we're going to start his neck going down, do the curve of his collar. This time you can probably take a bit of artistic ownership. And try and follow. Chin doesn't have to be exact because we're going to layer them up afterwards. So we've got his neck, doesn't have to be perfect. Again, shape fill, recent colour, flesh tones, shape outline, black, and weight 4.5. So hopefully that should fit there. So what we're going to start to do, we might start to look at adding some highlights in his hair, and then we'll start to put everything, all the pieces together. So he's got some light streaks going on in here, so we're going to get them out with shapes and freeform again, and I'm going to just try and copy some of these shapes, not all of them. So Julian Opie's work, there is highlights in the person's hair. So what we're going to do, shape fill, eyedropper. I want the lightest part of his hair, click on that. Shape outline, I want the lightest part of his hair as well. And we can start to sort of add that in over there. So do that a few times, pick out bits that you feel will help represent the hair properly so it's not looking too flat. So I'm not going to do everything on David's example. Again, shape fill. I'll replace that there. I might try and do some of the hair at the front. Now what I'm going to do for this, I'm going to try and do this as a block. And I know he's got gaps where you can see some of his skin. What we're going to do, we'll colour it in. Try and place that there. And then in these gaps here, I'm going to try and do another layer, but of skin tone this time. And try to give the impression that these hairs have a space in between. So shape fill, skin tone, shape outline, skin tone. So you can kind of see that it's giving the impression that there's a gap. So I'm going to try and do this big one here in the front. Doesn't have to be perfect, it's just to give the indication that there may be spaces in the hair. And then again, go back to format, shape fill, shape outline. I think I'll add that around there. So now we're going to start trying to put this together. What we need to do, we want the eyes, the nose and the mouth and the ears to be on top of these images here. If I just drag this over here, it's really going to cover most of that up. So I think we're lucky that the eyes are going to go on top of that. So we're going to place that over there like a mask. And then we'll move his hair over. Move the bits in his hair. Move the bits in the highlight. Try and give that impression that there is gaps. And put his ear in. And put his neck in. Now the neck is going on top of the face, which we don't quite want yet. So we need to give the face an outline. So format, shape outline, black, and then we want the weight to be 4.5. And then again, the neck is sitting on top. So what we're going to do, we're going to try and bring the face in front. So we're going to go right click on the face, bring to the front, and that's brought everything to the front. So we're going to do hair, right click, bring to the front, and then we just need to move that off a bit, move that off. We want all these to be brought to the front. So if you kind of highlight over it, make sure it's all selected but the neck, right click, bring to the front, click off. Hopefully when you bring that back, all that should stay in place. Now if you want, you can do a shirt and tie and a collar, but when you're finished, just click on the picture of David Tennant and delete. Now the one thing I forgot to add, which is probably a sin, is what David Tennant is mostly famous for on Doctor Who, with his eyebrows. So again, if you need to, just zoom in, insert shapes, freeform, and again, get those really pointy eyebrows in. And then shape fill, you want them black, and the outline black. Then insert again, shapes, and then you want to go over those eyebrows. You can have a bit of artistic freedom if they're your own eyebrows that you're doing. You can have a bit of artistic freedom and make them a bit neater if you wish. And then I've got his eyebrows. So I'm going to zoom back out, and I'm going to insert them where he normally goes. I just realised I've left the hair with a blue outline, so click on the hair, give it a black, or sorry, not a black outline, sorry, so Control Z, shape outline, and you want the darkness of his hair. And if you feel like you need some more lighter bits, so just feel free, insert, shape. I may try and go for some highlighted bits here. So if you feel like the hair is a bit too dark, I'm going to try and pick up some sections of the light bits, shape fill, shape outline, and then bring that over. And I may do one over here as well. So insert, shape, so sometimes you can bring this back. And if you've gone a bit too much, just delete that. Insert, shapes, and then shape fill. Then bring that over there then. So then I'm going to delete that, and then you've got his picture all there. If you need to tweak some of the levels to just move some around, you can use the arrow, use your mouse to move things around. If it feels like some of the things are off, just squeeze them in a bit. And then what Julian Opie does, he has a bold background, so you insert, I would say probably a nice shape, do a rectangle, and then I'll do shape film. Because he's Doctor Who, I'll give him a Doctor Who colour. Right click, brings the back, and there's your David Tennant, and there's your portrait in the style of Julian Opie. And then it's just File, Save As, and then you've got it. So look forward to seeing what you can create in the style of Julian Opie using PowerPoint.